Hey, what's up? We're back with some more stories. I want to go back to the military, actually. I want to hit some things that I skipped over on the military side, so timeline's going to be a little messed up, but like you really care, I guess. But okay. Over the years, when I was always asked what I thought of the military, or what was my, do I think people should join or not join or stuff, and I've said it before in another video, but I will never tell anybody to join or not to join. It's a choice you need to make for yourself. But there's some things you need to know if you're seriously going into the military. There's some things you should know. The questions that you ask the recruiters, they're not supposed to lie to you, but they just kind of rearrange the truth a little bit to get out of the question. For example, let's say you go to the Navy recruiter or the Army Marines, whatever, and you ask about facial hair. Can I have facial hair? I like my beard. I like my goatee. Now they'll tell you, actually, yes, facial hair is allowed. Certain circumstances, certain cases, you can request to have facial hair. Certain jobs allow you to have facial hair. So, yes. Now, you asked if you could keep your goatee. They said that facial hair, certain jobs are allowed. That is very true. But the facial hair that is allowed by regulations is just a mustache, and it's actually, they have like measurements of the size of the mustache and the length of the hair or whatever. Now, when he said you can request to have a facial hair, a goatee or beard or whatever, that is for people with skin conditions that aren't able to shave every day because it makes them break out and their face all bubbles up or whatever. So they get a medical excuse that tells them that they don't have to shave but once a month or whatever it is. So they can get a pretty good beard going, and they have to carry it on them all the time because if somebody stops them and asks them about the beard, they have to show the chit. Chit is like a request form. And certain jobs allow you to have facial hair. It would be something like a Navy SEAL who was behind the lines months, weeks, days. They're out there. They don't have to shave every day, of course, because that's not a priority. Or they're trying to blend into the environment so that they don't have to look so clean cut, because you can pretty much tell a military guy from right off the bat. If you watch movies like Lone Soldier or American Sniper, stuff like that, you'll see facial hair. That's because their job's a little different. Now, if you're going to become a SEAL or something like that, then yeah. But see, your recruiter didn't tell you that. He just said, yes, certain circumstances allow you to have facial hair. Not a lie, just not the whole truth. So when you go to a recruiter, you need to ask them specific questions and get specific answers. So let's say you qualify for a list of 15 jobs. One of those jobs is a mechanic, a car mechanic. Just for example, I'm just throwing this out there. You like cars, you like being a mechanic, that's something you're interested in because there's work after the military. You can get a job being a mechanic. And so your recruiter is going to, of course, push you to it because that's a job you like. But the problem is with that job is, let's say 8 out of 10 people will choose that same job. So when you start that job, you're at the bottom of the barrel. And in the military, age does not matter. It doesn't matter if you're 45 years old, if you're 25 years old, you're 21, or you're 32. Whoever is a higher rank than you will get more privileges. I know people that were 31 years old and had to be home by midnight because they started the military late, or they got in trouble and got dropped in rank. They got their title stripped from them, like leveled down. Downed. That's not even a word. They had to level down or something. So you might start the job as a mechanic because that's what you want, but there's 8 other people out of 10 that's doing the same job as you. So that means you leveling up is more difficult because they don't need 25 mechanics that are level 2 and then 55 mechanics that are level 3. They don't need it. So your tests are going to be more difficult. It's harder for you to level up. It's more limited. Like they only pass one out of 100 or 1,000 to level up, because you can't have everybody being a boss in the same job. There has to be Indians. The chief can't They can't be all chiefs. So that's going to restrict you. You're going to be in the same job, doing the same thing, being a low level for the next 3 or 4 years until it's your turn to level up. But if you would have chose something like a gas tanker mechanic or airplane tire wheel mechanic or something that's a little different, a little odd, not as common, then it's only 3 out of 10. So your job, you're going to rank up quicker because they need more people in your field to be a boss, because there's other people that come in later. So, they need bosses there. So when you're choosing your job and you're trying to figure out what military job you're going to do and stuff and whatever list they qualify you for, think about that. Think about how easy is it going to be to level up, and ask your recruiter. I'm sure there's some kind of list of like fields that are limited or fields that are overbooked, overpacked. Some jobs actually give you a bonus if you re-sign up for like another few years because they need more people. So when you take your test and you get this list of jobs that are available, ask your recruiter, which one of these jobs will I rank up quick enough if I do what I'm supposed to do, get qualified, and take the test and pass. I don't want to have a job that is going to keep me like held down because there's too many people doing it. Now, they might lie to you, but they're not supposed to. By law, they're not supposed to lie to you. So if he says, well, the airplane tire mechanic is a quicker level up, then, at least it's somebody telling you something. I mean, he might be lying, I don't know. But that's something to consider when you're, sorry, I got this smoke thing, mosquito killing smoke stuff that's bothering my nose. So consider that. Consider what jobs you're qualified for. Consider what jobs that you want to do and what you want to do after the military, because some jobs are not, you can't be an airplane tire mechanic and working at a normal car shop after you get out of the military. You need to work for an airport or something. You just think about it. I was a gunner, a duty armorer, and all stuff like that. So that qualified me for a lot of police work in the sense of armory work and weapons and stuff like that outside of the military anyway. So consider that as well. So ask the right questions to the recruiter, and consider, the answers. Don't just listen to what they're saying. Listen, try to read between the lines, and pick a job that's going to actually promote you. Now, if you don't pick a job, or you take anything that's like random, like I did, they're more than likely going to put you as a plane captain, because that's not a job. That's just a gas station attendant for an airplane, or a bosun's mate, which is a good job. It's a respectful job, but it is hard. You're going to be fixing the ship, cleaning the toilets, any kind of issue with the ship, you're on it. There's, I think, CBs is what it's called. You're like basically a construction worker. You build houses and stuff, which is kind of cool. A lot of people like it. You go out there and build, something, a bridge or something, that's kind of stuff. So do your research on what jobs are available before you sign your name, because you're going to be stuck in that job. If you hate it, you've got that for another 3, 4, 5 years, however long you signed up. So that's my advice about the recruiter. Make sure you know what you're going to ask them first. Make sure you're checking on everything, and certain jobs aren't needed in certain countries in a sense. All the jobs, all the shit. If you're not really a big ship guy, CVs and those kind of jobs are more land jobs, because you got to build stuff. So think about that. You do not have to be able to swim to join the Navy. I know several people when I joined could not swim, but you have to tread water for like 4 or 5 minutes, whatever it is. You jump off a little diving board that was nothing. A lot of people freak out, but it's nothing. It's like a cliff in Missouri you jump into the river off of. So you jump off this little high dive. Well, it's not even a high dive, but mid dive, and you just tread water for like 4 or 5 minutes. And if you can do that, you're in. That's pretty much your qualifications. If you want to be a Navy SEAL or some kind of job like that, then yeah, you need to swim like an Olympic swimmer. You need to know the different types of breaststroke, butterfly stroke, the pick an apple stroke, whatever that's called. I forget what it's called. You have to know all those, and you have to be good at it. They'll give you an opportunity in boot camp. They'll say, hey, does anybody here want to be a SEAL? Do you want to try the test? And then you go and you jump in the pool and you swim a little bit, and they take a poll and they tap you to get out if they don't feel that you're qualified yet. And during boot camp, you can retake the test. You're tired, worn out. you're sleeping, getting up at 5 in the morning, marching, doing these drills, and then on top of that, you want to go to the pool and practice to swim. That's on you if you're good enough to do it. So if you plan on trying to be a SEAL, I would watch some of those videos they do on SEALs camp, because it's no joke. I mean, I met a lot of SEALs. We work with them and stuff, and I mean, I originally was going to try to be one, but I'm glad I didn't, not after seeing some of that stuff and hearing some of the stories. But you have to be really prepared for that. Yeah, practice swimming, definitely. I mean, you can get online YouTube and find out what swimming stroke things that you need to know. And if you do good in boot camp and you pass the, but that's also another thing. You need to be a specific rates to join the SEALs as well. Like, they don't need a cook. So if you applied to be a cook, the SEALs won't take you because they don't need that job. You have to be like a gunner's mate or a medic or anything that certain jobs, EOD, explosives or whatever, things like that are the types of jobs that they need. And if you qualify, then you go through it. Let's see, SEALs. I also, for the test for the SEALs, like, you got to do this massive test, and if you pass it, you're good. If you retake the test, I think you have to do a better time than the first time, or you're out. So I wouldn't recommend trying to retake the test just to prove a point. It's a risk. So once you're in boot camp, there's a lot of, like, you barely sleep, and they have something like an honors thing where you learn to flip. I don't remember what it's called, but you learn to flip the guns and stuff. And I'm telling you, you are so tired. You're sleeping while you're walking during boot camp. You're marching half asleep. You're in the morning. You're trying to get lunch. You have like 15 minutes to eat. And I mean, it's just crazy. And it's boot camp. It's what it should be. When I went, I mean, they could yell at you. They could scream at you. They could, tell you what they wanted to tell you. We shot real guns. You went got into a gas chamber and got gassed and stuff. I think now they can't yell at you. They give you like a mommy card where you can go call your mom if you get sad. They don't think they shoot guns. They shoot like laser tag guns for target practice. And I'm not sure if they still gas you. I think they mace you a little bit or so. I don't know. But boot camp has changed over the year. But be prepared. I mean, that's the Navy. The Marines, I have no idea. I'm sure it's just as hard. It's a lot more physical. Army is probably pretty physical. Air Force has probably better jobs when you get out of the military. But you really have to score high on your test to be able to apply for the Air Force. It's radar work, that kind of stuff. But the jobs are better after the Air Force. I think that's about it. It's 13 minutes video, so I don't want to go overboard. I'll continue the next one to talk about people that you deal with in the military, like who you work with and stuff. So if you're going to join the military, it was great. I traveled around the world. I met people. I seen things. I learned a lot. Hey, try it out. But try to figure out what you want to do first. Make sure that you ask the right questions, things like that. And there is no guarantee that you will go anywhere you request. You have a dream sheet, but that is no guarantee. If you're a cook and they need cooks in Dubai, you're going to Dubai. It doesn't matter what you request. You have to do so much shore duty or sea duty, then you can go to shore duty, and vice versa. There's a lot of tricks to it. You will never be 100% anything. They own you. You might spend 2 years in Alaska because they needed somebody, and then all of a sudden you fly to Japan because somebody in your same job quit or got out. So especially in times of war, they can pretty much be a little more aggressive. All right, that's it. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. If you join the military, then you know what to look for. I'll see you in a minute. I'll do another video.